Hey everyone, it's Sam from English for Study here, and today I'm bringing you a reader question, and this one's all about forgetting words and word order when speaking. So let's get into it. So today's question has come from an English for Studies subscriber by the name of Bulgan, and Bulgan says, the big frustration for me is to speak, and when I talk to native English speakers my sentences get disordered and the words that I have don't come to mind. Now, I think this is a really common kind of frustration that a lot of English learners struggle with, especially when you go past the intermediate stage and you start becoming more ambitious with your language. And I think there's two main reasons or two issues that are at work here. The first one is feeling disordered or feeling like your sentences don't come out in the right order, and that's to do with sentence structure and grammar. The second one is feeling like you're not using all of your words, and that one is to do with your kind of knowledge, your working language, your vocabulary. So let's focus on the first one and why you might get confused and frustrated with word order. Now, most people are unlucky when studying English because the way that English is formed and the way that your first language is formed, the grammar rules and the sentence structures, they're different. And so you have to relearn a whole new language using completely new sentence structures while trying to forget or not allow your first language to influence it. So when you're speaking English, and if you don't speak English a lot, then you're going to confuse yourself by getting your two languages mixed up and confused, and that is going to lead to a lot of frustration. Now, the problem that some people have with that is it discourages them when they start to notice that they can't make these sentences with 100% accuracy. It frustrates them. They make mistakes and they get angry at themselves, and this is a really common issue that a lot of intermediate and advanced English learners have, because they get annoyed with themselves, and that it results in them losing motivation and losing the will to speak. And the second issue is not always having the words that you believe that you have in your brain, the words that you believe you've learned, and you can't use them. And that frustration is where you think, after you've spoken to somebody, after you've had a conversation, you think, oh, I should have said this. Oh, why didn't I use this word instead of that? And that basically comes down to practice. If you don't practice using new language a lot, then you're not going to be able to use it. When you're speaking English, especially to a native English speaker, it can be quite stressful. If you don't do this often, if speaking to native English speakers isn't something that you do a lot, every time you speak English, you're going to have some sort of anxiety or stress. And that means that your body or your brain kind of goes into survival mode, and it relies on the language that you know best. And usually that's really simple stuff that you learned when you were a beginner. And usually that means that you don't use the more advanced language that you've been trying to learn, because it's not really part of your working language yet. So these two issues which Bulgan is experiencing, these two frustrations, are really common, and they're nothing to worry about, and they're quite easily solved. Well, I say easily, I mean simply. It requires you to do some work, but it's not impossible, because what you need to do is take the language, the patterns, the structures, the new vocabulary that you're learning, and you need to practice them and use them enough so they become part of your working language. And working language is something I talk about quite often, and I'll make a new video on this at another time talking about what exactly working language is. But for now, I'll define it as the language that you're able to use automatically. So, to kind of come to Bulgan's frustrations and what Bulgan can do to get past these frustrations, simply use and practice new language and more advanced structures a lot until they become part of your working language, the language that you're comfortable using. And then when you do that enough, and you have to do it a lot, you have to do it enough, you'll then hit that point where suddenly that new and more advanced language feels as natural as the basic and more simple stuff. And unfortunately, it just comes with practice, and there's no real shortcut. That's why learning a language is such a testament to your passion, and it's such a testament to the hard work and dedication that you put in, because no one can learn English for you. It's something that you have to do for yourself. Okay, so I hope this video has given you some ideas into why you might feel frustrated when speaking English. And do take the advice that I've given you to heart and do try it. And leave me a comment in the comments below about what frustrates you when you speak English, and maybe I can make a video like this for your frustration as well. I'm Sam from EnglishForStudy.com, and don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this from me in the future. Alright, that's it from me today. Bye bye for now.